Good Friday, everyone. This is Pastor Danny McKee. It is so good to see you. I'm so glad you tuned in. We are going to pick up in part 3 of our series, The Secret to a Foolproof Life. What's the secret? The secret is the book of Proverbs. We've been looking in the book of Proverbs to learn how to live wise, to learn how to live a godly life. And so I have been so enriched by this study of Proverbs. And man, I'm getting so much as I've been reading the book of Proverbs, and I hope you have as well. I want to talk to you about a segment in the book of Proverbs. We're going to be in Proverbs chapter 4, verse 20 through 27. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 20 through 27. I want to talk to you about the condition of your heart. And so I'm going to read this proverb, and then we're going to go dive into this block of Proverbs. This is a great proverb. Verse 20 says this: "My son, pay attention to what I say. Turn your ear to my words. Do not let them out of your sight. Keep them within your heart, for they are life to those who find them and health to one's whole body." Verse 23, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Keep your mouth free from perversity. Keep corrupt talk far from your lips. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Give careful thought to the path for your feet, and be steadfast in all your ways. Do not turn to the right or to the left. Keep your foot from evil." I want to talk to you about the heart. The heart of the issue is the issue of your heart. Out of the abundance of your heart, your mouth speaks. So let me talk to you about your heart. Have you ever gone to the doctor and they checked your blood pressure? A few months ago, I went to the doctor and checked my blood pressure. Now, I have a family history of high blood pressure. The doctor tells me, Mr. Dr. West, he's an awesome doctor. He says, "Mr. McKee, we're going to have to put you on medication." I said, "Dr. West, I don't want to go on medication. Give me 30 days, Dr. West. Give me 30 days, and I'm going to bring this blood pressure down." And he says, "Okay, that is a good plan." So 30 days later, I'm in Dr. West's office, and he takes my blood pressure. And do you know what? My blood pressure went up 5 points. So what did he do? He said, "Listen, my friend, here's your blood pressure. Here's where it's gone. Here's where it's going. I'm going to prescribe you some medicine now." And so he was looking at the facts. Fact-based management says you can say you're going to bring your blood pressure down, but in all actuality, it's not happening because of family issues there. So I got on medication now. For good news, my blood pressure is fine now, but he prescribed me some medicine. Many times we live our lives and we don't examine the condition of our spiritual heart. Like, where are you? What's going on in your heart? Do you have a heart issue? So I came up with 3 questions. I didn't want to go too deep on this particular topic because it can get real sensitive, but I gave you 3 quick heart exam, kind of take your blood pressure. I'm going to ask you these 3 questions really quick for the condition of your heart. Is my daily relationship with Jesus a priority in my life? Number 2, when I endure hardship, where do I run? Number 3, do I submit my goals and dreams to Jesus? If you answered yes to every one of those questions, then your blood pressure is good. But if you've answered no, then you probably have some sort of a heart issue. It's important for us to examine the spiritual condition of our heart. And this proverb brings us to that point. And it says this in verse 23. It's Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23 says, "Above all else, guard your heart." Above all else. What is your heart? Your heart means more than your mental and emotional capacity. It includes one's value. Matter of fact, in this particular portion of Proverbs, it's telling you that they're talking about your whole being, your health, your whole being, your values. Everything is considered to be a part of your heart. And what does it says? It says above all else. I looked up that word in the Greek, all, and it means all. It says, above all else, guard your heart. Is the guarding of your spiritual heart a priority in your life? In this particular Proverbs, it says, above everything else, you need to guard your heart. What does that mean, to guard your heart? The heart of the issue is the issue of your heart. You are responsible to guard your heart. I love that particular passage. It says, guard your heart. I'm responsible to guard my heart. You're responsible to guard your heart. God's not responsible to guard your heart. We are. And so it needs to be a priority in our life. That word guard, the word picture is a citadel, a fortress. It needs to be top priority. Why? Because everything flows from the heart. The direction of your life is largely determined by the condition of your heart. By the condition of your heart. So if you took a test today, would you pass the spiritual heart examination? What I thought was interesting about this particular passage is that I have read it numerous times. I've preached sermons on verse number 23, but what I never saw until I started studying the book of Proverbs in this series is that the next few verses gives you the simple way to guard your heart. Listen to me, this is awesome. Verse 24 says, keep your mouth free from perversity. Your mouth, what you speak, matters. Keep corrupt talk from your lips. Let your eyes, what you see, protect your heart. Look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Give careful thought to your paths, your feet, where you go. It determines the condition of your heart. And be steadfast in all your ways. Do not turn to the right or to the left. Keep your foot from evil. So after the verse number 23, he gives you the 3 simple ways to guard your heart. So I'm going to give you 3 simple ways to guard your heart, and I'm going to give you a passage in the New Testament to go along with each one of these to bring it into completion. Number 1, watch what you say. I mean, we talked about it last week, the power of your words. You and I need to watch what we say. What we say matters, and it is a reflection of the condition of our heart. So if there's toxicity, if there's negativity coming out of our mouths, it is a sure sign that we have an issue of the heart that needs to be remedied. So we have to be very careful about what we say. Jesus brings this to a very somber scripture when he says this in Matthew chapter 12, verse 36 and 37. He says this, I tell you, on the day of judgment, people will give an account for every careless word they speak. For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. That is a sobering scripture that has caused me to be quiet over the years on more than one occasion. You and I will be judged for what we say. Every idle word that comes forth from our mouths. We need to guard our heart. How do we guard our heart? How do we make a citadel? How do we make a fortress to make sure that our heart is pure? We watch what we say. We watch what we say. Quiet, please. Number 2, you focus on what is before you. We need to look at the path in front of us. We need to focus what's before us. You and I, we don't need to seek out trouble. Trouble will find you. You don't need to be going around turning over every rock to find something to complain about and to find something wrong. We need to fix our eyes and focus on what is before us. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1 through 2 says this, therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. Our responsibility, the way you keep your heart pure, the way you keep your heart steadfast is to focus and fix your attention on the person of Jesus. Don't look to the left, don't look to the right, don't look behind you, look in front of you and get steadfast and focus on the Lord. So don't seek out trouble, just keep your eyes on Jesus and follow him. In the scriptures it says, Jesus said this, deny yourself, pick up your cross and follow me. How can you follow Jesus if you're not fixing your eyes on him? And so we need to focus our attention, our devotion, our line of sight on the person of Jesus, and we follow him. That's how you guard your heart. And finally, number 3, think about where your feet are going. Think about where you're going. Have you ever been distracted in your life? I'm sure you have. I have too. Have you been distracted while you're driving? And then you end up in a place that you weren't intending to go? Why? Because you were thinking about something else. In our spiritual life, it is much the same. If we don't think about where we're headed, if we don't think about where our feet are going, we can end up in a place that we don't want to be. And so in Matthew chapter 7, verse 13 and 14, Jesus says this, "Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow is the road that leads to life, and only a few find it." What is Jesus saying there? Jesus is saying, fix your attention on me. Focus on me. If you will focus on me and you will follow me and you'll pay attention to where I'm leading you, I'm going to lead you into life. Now, I don't have to make a big, huge case. You and I know that the road to destruction, there are many roads to destruction in our society, and many people find their ways in those places of death and destruction. But you and I are called to live a life that is full of abundance. And how do we do that? We guard our heart by watching what we say, focusing on what is before you, and watching where our feet are going, so that we will live a life that is full of the abundance of God, His peace and His joy and His love and His mercy that will follow us all the days of our lives. Well, how do we get that? Well, we get that by being streamlined and paying attention to where we are going. So those are three simple ways to guard your heart, and they are found right underneath passage number 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27 to help you keep your heart pure and clean, because all the issues of life flow from your heart. The heart of the issue is the issue of your heart. In my heart. Let's finish with a few questions. Number one is this: would you pass a spiritual heart examination? And if not, what would the doctor prescribe? Number two, is guarding your heart a priority in your life? Did you ever have that topic presented to you, and why or why not? Number three, which of these three simple steps for guarding your heart is the easiest for you to do, and which one is the hardest? And number four, what are you going to do differently tomorrow in response to this teaching? Look, it is such a great privilege and honor to share with you the insights from Proverbs. I look forward to finishing up and wrapping up this series next week. If you could you subscribe and like and share this with your friends? And it's been great talking to you. Peace out.